second. Hey, and welcome. We are live at GM Balo, and we got art department over there. Chilling out right over there.
Don't smack my feet!
Oh, and there's the ears. But yeah, we're having a lot of fun here at GM Balo, and we're going live right now for some afternoon stuff that we will probably put on some type.
Tea time, but we don't have tea or biscuits.
So we need to get on that, or people need to buy us tea.
I got tea, and I'm not sure I really like biscuits.
True. Like, do you have a favorite type of tea, and will you give it to us is the question. So, yeah, at any rate, we are today. Yeah, we're going here, and we're having tea and those types of things. And we just want to talk about what's going on. It's going on both kind of within gaming in general, but also just kind of really art department and I going back and forth on ideas. We're going to have some conversations during tea time and various things, and of course talk about stuff affecting, I think, gaming world, and also GM Balo games and all types of stuff.
I will try my hardest to keep flirting to a minimum.
She's a liar.
It's true. He's cute. Let's see if I can turn Matt.
Oh, and Courtney's here
today
with no tea but lunch, which is very, very good.
I have an unnamed pop.
That may or may not have zero sugar and
a red label
cocaine in it way in the past at some juncture. It's possible. So yeah, I think one thing that obviously I think we're talking about games, and I think along that there is some of the OGL insanity that has been going on, and I think art department over there has something that we have, because we're nerds. Like, we are the biggest nerd couple, and I don't think we were as bad before we were married, but like there was like this.
Speak for yourself.
I still don't think individually we were as bad, but it's kind of like the A and B of resin. Like, then it just hardened and became permanent within our souls. But funny thing, we both had when we got married. You know, you get married, or something, you moving together for the first time. But then kind of anybody, right? You bring your stuff together, and sometimes you might have double. Maybe you have double of a movie, whatever. We had a double of your regional toy Rancor that we both cared so much about. We had to bring it to our first way too low in a base, like, it's not an attic, I guess. It was like an attic apartment, but we made sure to each bring it separately, and they were friends. So it was very good. But anyway, I think we had something in the nerd realm compared to some of the OGL stuff. So I think art department, if you're ready, I
am ready.
We'll hook you up.
Just say when. Much that once was is lost, for few now live who will remember it. It began with wizards of the coast, taking what many loved and forging the great additions. Edition 3 was given to the nerds, smart survivors of the satanic panic, and the shrewdest of all beings. 4 to the geek lords, great mathematicians and craftsmen of dungeon terrain. And 5, the 5th edition was gifted to all players who, above all else, desired story. For within these editions was bound the tools and rules to manage every table. But they were all of them deceived. For another edition was made, deep in the land of Rhode Island, in the fires of Pawtucket. The dark corporation Hasbro forged a master edition, and into this game they poured their cruelty, their greed, and their will to dominate all content. One D&D to rule them all.
So yeah, we're hopeless on the nerd front.
We're hopeless. Okay.
Now that that's over, we've addressed it.
Woo!
Well, yeah. So I think real quick on the GM front. Actually, I think I was going to ask you, art department there, if
Yes,
because you
sexy
have
GM.
not read the announcement about the OGL that came out today.
Nope, I don't read those.
You don't
I
read
get
those.
mad.
So what I wanted to ask you is if you wanted to live react to me reading it.
Oh God, do you want me to break something?
Up
Is this
to
the
you.
plan?
I don't know if Chad, if you think that's a good idea.
Do you want me to throw things?
I don't know. Just as long as you don't break any of your own minis, I think that's probably okay.
I think you can read me tidbits. It's like the election, okay? You got to give me it in low doses, or else Mount Vesuvius.
Or E 2 + 2 = 5. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to do this, and then if you need to tell me to stop, then you can just kind of say I'm done.
Oh, I can use the X.
Yeah, you can X. I guess X on the statement about wizards. You can X card
Power
because it's to a thing. All right. So here we go.
The problem with throwing something is I don't have anything back here that's not breakable, and the dog is hiding.
True, the dog is terrified. So, all right, I'll read this amazing statement by Wizards. Amazing statement. On it came a few hours ago. Here we go. When we initially conceived of revising the OGL, it was with 3 major goals in mind. First, we wanted the ability to prevent the use of D&D.
Why are you reading this like a British prick?
Because that's the energy I feel.
Okay.
To prevent the use of D&D content from being included in hateful and discriminatory products. Second, we wanted to
I agree. There should be no hate or racism.
Yeah.
Or sexism. Mm-hmm. I'm on the board with that.
You're on, yeah. Well, that's what they say is good. It's just I think it's the BS meter you're trying to.
Oh yeah, bring it on.
Okay. So
I'm expecting this to be like certain orange-haired politician BS.
Wow, that's pretty.
Bring it on.
Second, we wanted to address those attempting to use D&D in Web3, blockchain games, and NFTs by making clear that OGL content is limited to tabletop role-playing content like campaigns, modules, and supplements. And third, we wanted to ensure that the OGL for the content creator, the homebrewer, the aspiring designer, our players, and the community, not major corporations to use for their own commercial and promotional purpose.
Okay. Problem 1. Define corporation.
So I think they're meaning like any other major corporation.
I know what you think it means. Right. But according to them, we could be a corporation.
Well, I think. Well, I see what you're saying. I see kind of where you might.
So that's loophole 1 they've put in.
I think they're taking shots at people make Pathfinder Paizo. I think they're trying to.
That's fine, but what I'm saying is that that's a shady way to pretty much include any GMers. I'm sorry, any professional GMs who have more than one person helping them out.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're trying to say that you think that they're trying to be broader.
I think they're trying to be broader than they're saying.
Okay. I think they're being sneaky.
You forget I worked HR.
That's fine. That's why I want
Okay.
the live reaction. Okay. Second paragraph.
Oh, God, we're only in the second paragraph.
Yeah, so that was paragraph 1.
Go on.
Driving these goals were 2 simple principles. 1, our job is to be good stewards of the game. And 2, the OGO exists for the benefit of the fans. Nothing about those principles has wavered for a second.
Bullshit. Number 1, our thing was profit. Go on.
That was why our early drafts of the new OGO included the provisions they did. The draft language was provided to content creators and publishers so their feedback could be considered before anything was finalized. I can't even say it seriously. In addition to language allowing us to address discriminatory and hateful conduct and clarifying what types of products the OGO covers, our drafts included royalty language designed to apply to large corporations attempting to use OGO content. It was never our intent to impact the vast majority of the community.
Bullshit. Okay, first of all, if it was supposed to get feedback, it wouldn't have been leaked. Second of all, if it wasn't a final or one of the final drafts, not as many of your employees would have turned in resignations.
Exactly. And I agree with the deadlines that's a problem here. So we're gonna continue here.
Oh my God, I hate them. Go on.
All right. However, it's clear from the reaction.
First of all, don't use reaction like we are doing something wrong by being angry. That's like telling a woman, calm down.
It's true. Like,
I'll calm down. I'll take off my earrings and I'll go kick your ass.
Like, doesn't it feel though that it is written by like the quintessential like incompetent like stereotypical husband?
No, it feels more like the vice principal who's trying to be everybody's friend, but the principal gave him a job that he has to do.
Like, I'm your buddy. Come on. I'm here for you. I'm working for you. All right.
Continue.
Oh, it's clear from that reaction that we rolled a 1.
Honey, you rolled a negative.
All right. It has become clear that it is no longer possible to fully achieve all 3 goals while still staying true to our principles.
You have no principles. This was about money and greed. Hello, Ruby. I know I'm getting upset.
Okay. So here's what we were doing.
Go on.
The next OGL will contain the provisions that allow us to protect and cultivate the inclusive environment we are trying to build and specify that it covers only content for TTRPGs. That means that other expressions such as educational and charitable campaigns, live streams, cosplay, VTT uses, etc. will remain unaffected by any OGL update. Content already released under 1.0a will also remain unaffected.
Okay, so here's the thing. I hadn't thought about it, and now I'm thinking about it because they threw in role play. Or I'm not sorry, not role play. They like
Cosplay. Yeah.
They were going to charge people for cosplay?
I think under the original one, it could have gone potentially that wide. Like, I think that was some of the
I'm gonna be completely honest. Whoever they used for like their panel to bounce off of are complete and utter morons. Do you know how much people spend on cosplay?
But they don't get the money, right?
Yeah, but now you're basically making them go, I'm going to go to a different cosplay. And a lot of people do spend money on cosplay. If you want to get like a woo outfit, you are talking about a couple hundred, if not thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I think yeah, so you couldn't says couldn't sell Prince of cosplay, make a model. Potentially. I think that was some of the discussion, like if it was Beholder, yeah. There was some of the discussion that was being had that potentially that was the issue. Because of the images, right? So they were trying to, according to I guess this apology letter, I think what they're trying to communicate is
Thank you.
we
Spent thousands of dollars.
yeah. I think according to the apology letter, what they were trying to do was only do NFTs, but they're like, oh, we just accidentally can't even say it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to defend it, but I can't even do it.
Accidentally.
We accidentally used language that was over the top.
That's like someone saying, I accidentally cheated on you. You know, I just fell out of the shower and it slipped in.
It was just this friction and physics, you know how it works.
You can continue. You're enjoying making me mad. It's fine.
Yeah. So they kind of already released under 1.0a will remain unaffected, which was in question in the original one. The original, at least the leak supposedly, was that. So there's more that I've not gotten to that you're probably going to flip at the end, but that's okay. So we're going next.
Goody.
What it will not contain. Talking about the new OGL. What it will not contain is any royalty structure. It will also not include the license back provision that some
all
were afraid was a means for us to steal work. That thought never crossed our minds.
Bullshit. That's all I even have to say. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit.
Under any new OGO, you will own the content you create. Any language we put down.
Thanks for letting me own what I already own. You're getting too much fun out of this.
Again, I just feel like it's like I feel like some dude's going like to a woman, like going like, "Hey, honey, just so you know, I've decided you have a right to your feelings." Like that's what it sounds like.
You say that, but I'll bet you every single one of the women in the comments will be like, someone said it to me. I kicked him in the balls when he did, but that's just me. And I told him he was entitled to his pain.
Yeah, and I think so the big thing that the fan content policy, I think what some people I heard were worried about, and again, I'm not a legal lawyer or anything along those lines, so I think some other people, was that was a policy that's internal, the company can change at any time, versus a licensing like official agreement on what they would and would not prosecute or seek damages on. And so like policy, like it's a little different for them, but I kind of agree.
There's an X in there for a reason.
I know some people who do 3D models for free for everyone of monsters from Dungeons and Dragons, and like that they would try to like take that or whatever. But I know they can make it under the fan content policy.
Yeah.
All right. So now I just let's see. You will.
I will what?
I don't even. Okay, that thought never crossed our minds. Under any new OGO, you own the content we create. And then it just says we won't. I don't know. Oh, we won't. We won't own the content. I see.
Why do I feel like this was written by a drunk trained monkey?
We won't. Any language we put down will be, I hate this phrase, but I'm going to say it, crystal clear An unequivocal.
You guys ever notice crystals aren't clear?
That in clear is as clear as it can be. You can't be any clearer than anyway.
Yeah, you can. Water.
No, but clear is clear. Like if something's clear, it's simply anyway.
Crystals aren't clear.
It's true. And unequivocal on that point. The license back language was intended to protect us and our partners,
Bullshit.
and our partners from creators who incorrectly allege that we steal their work simply because of coincidental similarities.
Okay, but that's like if J.K. Rowling backdated it and then tried to sue like the author of Merlin because they got a wizard.
I actually like it's not entirely ridiculous. Like
no, I get it, but to the
you might have a point. Like as far as what this feels like, right?
Yeah, that's what it feels like. First of all, I have 2 English teachers for parents.
Mm-hmm.
There is no original idea. Okay? Yes, you can do something similar. If you wrote a book, there's probably a book out there that is similar. You have to prove that someone stole the content from you. You can't just be like, well, we write these so we can backdate them and you owe us money. That's bullshit. Continue.
Okay.
I'm getting all fired up.
It alleged that we steal their work simply because of coincidental similarities. As we continue to invest in the game that we love and move forward with partnerships in film, television, and digital games, that risk is simply too great to ignore.
Do we want to place a bet on how many people who worked on this draft actually play the game?
So what's so interesting, too, is that this didn't come out on Wizards of the Coast website.
No, it came out on Hasbro's.
No, it did not.
No, really? Whose?
D&D Beyond.
Oh, okay.
Which isn't even like an official, like it's an entity that was bought by the company. Like it's separate from Wizards, right? So like Wizards owns it, but it's not, so it's like, I don't know. It's just so interesting. Like so Wizards
y'all can't stop my fan fiction.
Yeah, like Wizards technically isn't even making the statement, like theoretically, right? So it's
this is so stupid. Continue.
Yeah.
You got me all riled.
Here we go. The new OGL will contain provisions to address that risk, but we will do it without license back and without suggesting we have rights to the content you create. Your ideas and imagination are what makes this game special, and that belongs to you.
Stop. It never crossed our minds that we would take your content and say it's ours. However, in this paragraph, we're saying the suggestion. It crossed your minds. Just be honest. Continue.
Yeah.
Woo.
So right before I go to this next bit, do you believe they are going to try to not do what they're doing? Like, do you think they're going to fulfill the promises they're making so far?
No. They're going to backpedal somewhere.
Mm.
And they're going to try to slip in something. Either that or they're going to run this game straight into an early grave.
Continue. A couple of last thoughts. First, we won't be able to release the new OGL today. Because we need to make sure we get it right, but it is coming. Second, You're going to hear people say that they won and we lost because your voices heard and forced us to change our plans.
It did.
Those people will only be half right. They won, and so did we.
Okay. Don't be giving a
Conspiracy.
medal to everyone who participated.
It's medals.
Y'all pissed off people who have the patience to do a 2-year long game to have a joke from episode 1 pay off in episode 200.
Right? These are people who like take notes, like. I remember, like, we've done campaigns and you've had like 10 journals of notes, and there's some people take more notes than you. Like, people are gonna forget. Like these people are gonna be the ones that aren't going back and going.
Look, we're
like,
nerds
here's my entry.
and we're geeks. Those two, it's like Ghostbusters don't cross the streams. You've crossed the streams.
Yeah, I really think they've done it on this one. Marvelous.
There's also, I don't remember who put it in Discord, but someone pointed out this is horrible timing. Doing it right before a D&D movie that you spent money on.
Oh, yeah.
You just, here's the gun, here's your foot, boom.
Because I mean, I'll be honest, I have very little faith it's going to be a good movie.
Oh God, it's not going to be a good movie.
But I had planned to go out as soon as I could, possibly opening day after a game, late night theater, go out to see it. Why? Well, because I appreciate Dungeons and Dragons. I appreciate what they're trying to do before the statement, rather. Because obviously, like, Pro DM, all these things. And so, like, yeah, like, I was going to support your thing, even if it was not going to be good, because that's just usually what you do. And if you like a game, you want the game to go better. And I think a lot of people are like, I'll give you my, I'll put basically my Todd in the collection plate. Like, that's generally, I think, how people are thinking.
Basically.
And, like, then they're just like,
and I'll admit, like, I saw those. I don't know if anyone's seen them. They're the dice that turn into monsters that Hasbro's was flogging with this. I was like, ooh, I might buy those. Nope.
Right.
Nope.
So I love to Nerds and Geeks, the most excitable groups. So I have a thing with that, only because
you're both.
Well, that's true, but like that they're the most excitable because I like Nerds and Geeks are getting involved. I think this is just the same as like really diehard sports fans. I think of my dad, right? And my dad, if he was watching his Browns game and they announced some poor decision, like we're lucky if the TV like makes it intact from something that could be.
I will agree with that statement in only one way.
Yeah, I agree. I know you will.
Because sports fans have a team.
Right.
Nerds and geeks, we are like so many overcrossing fandoms, and we respect your fandom and you respect your fandom. Unless your fandom is Twilight, I don't respect it. But we are like unified. We're not gonna fight like a Browns and a Steelers.
Right, in other words, we feel each other's pain a little more.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's true, because I think like someone loses their team and others say, we're like, well, that stinks. Who cares? Like but we're not like angry. Like sports fans wouldn't be angry about it typically.
I mean, we're angry when they ruin our books by putting them into horrible movies.
Right. But yeah, I think I agree that generally we
support each other.
Yeah, communities will go, yeah, that's just bad, and I will get upset with you. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but
unlike sports teams where you're like, ha ha, you suck.
So, last paragraph.
Oh God, there's more. Okay.
After they said they won and so did we.
Liars. Okay. We kicked your asses.
Our plan, always.
Oh, bullshit.
To solicit the input of our community before any update to the OGL.
Then who were you talking to? Was it a group of grandmas who are like, my sonny likes this game?
The drafts you've seen were attempting to do just that.
They weren't drafts, but continue.
Okay. We want to always delight fans and create experiences together that everyone loves. We realize we did not do that this time, and we are sorry for that. Our goal.
Okay, but if it's not a draft, then you didn't disappoint anyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the language here.
Uh-huh.
Like it's almost as if because I'll use Grammarly, right, and I'll go through. I feel like should there be like, I feel like there should be like a tense detection that goes out in this, like, hey, you're switching tense, like that's like they're not, but like they're switching points of view as if like it's so, I don't know. All right, our goal was to get exactly the type of feedback on which provisions worked and which did not, which we ultimately got from you.
Your goal was for thousands, if not millions of people to cancel their D&D Beyond subscription. That was your goal. That makes
I don't even know how many
business
is now. I think
sense
it's like
to
4
you?
different systems right now have launched on this news, or thinking of launching.
Whoever runs that company, if that was your goal, resign. Continue.
Okay. Now they're going to kind of
Backpedal some more?
a little, yeah. Maybe. Any change this major could only have been done well if we were willing to take that feedback, no matter how it was provided. So we are.
You mean the big middle finger everyone gave you?
Thank you for caring to let us know what works and what doesn't, what you need and what scares you.
No, it doesn't scare us. It pisses us off. Use the right term.
Without knowing that, we can't do our part to make the new OGL match our principles.
Maybe to make the new thing match your principles, you should actually talk to people who play the game. Just maybe.
Could be a start. And I'm trying to figure out, do they state their principles? Yes.
Oh, yeah. It was all bullshit.
Stewards of the game, and the OGL benefits the fans.
Yeah, it was all bullshit.
Okay.
They were leaving out the principle of greed and profit.
It's really interesting.
And running the game into the ground.
Word, because we did like that One Ring ripoff earlier in this show, and they're using the word steward here.
Yeah.
Right? In the second paragraph that I'm going back to, which is actually cracks me up because it already indicates they don't own the game.
Right.
Like they're trying to say that, but yet they kind of say, oh, like, oh, here's this other thing. Like it's so funny because now I just envision them like eating tomatoes in the totally wrong way, like that finger thing that the guy on the steward did of
You're
Condor.
such a dork.
Okay.
I love you.
Sorry, like this is my image now. I think of Wizards of the Coast.
My image is a jackass. Does that count? I mean a donkey.
All right, but those who play aren't real people.
What? We're not real people?
I don't know what you're saying, Bishy. Like, if you could clarify that comment, I just don't know what you mean.
Oh, my alarm's going off. Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
I'll turn it
off.
Where's the comment? I don't think I'm seeing what you're saying. But those who play aren't real people.
Okay, so I'll do the final thing. Final sentence. Finally, we'd appreciate the chance to make this right. We love D&D's devoted players and the creators who take them on so
Then
many.
pay them a livable wage. Continue. Sorry. Not sorry.
Yeah. We love D&D's devoted players and the creators who take them on so many incredible adventures. We won't let you down.
Well, you already have. So step up your game or give it to people who actually do give a damn. What?
That's very true.
I'm just saying. Meaning we aren't important in their eyes or minds.
That's right.
I agree.
Yeah, I got you.
Our money is what's important to them, and all those cancellations is what changed their mind.
Oh, definitely. I mean, this is no doubt, because in fact they were supposed to make a statement yesterday, and then when I don't know if everyone knows this, but like to cancel your subscription, the site went down. Like so many people clicked the button that it totally went down. Which is amazing. So yeah, we won't let you down. So
Focus group.
I will
That's
say
the
this.
word I was
I will
looking
say
for.
this sentence is worded
Patronizingly?
no. In a way that's okay. I like it.
I don't.
Finally, we'd appreciate the chance to make this right. That they are not assuming that we'll give them the chance.
Okay.
At least
fair
not in the
enough.
sentence, right? The language used. Maybe they are outside of this. I don't know. But of all of all the sentences, I like that one, I think. And that I feel like at least expresses like we don't owe you the chance to fix this.
No, we don't.
And
There
nobody
are
does.
so many other tabletop games that people can move on to.
And even
We
then,
don't
they're
know
not
you,
saying
Jack.
like and I think it's telling the word that they're not using. They're not using words like misunderstanding or
No, because
early
it's not a
drafts.
misunderstanding.
Right? Like they're trying to use language that seems to be
Okay, so out of the entire release that they've sent out, we like one sentence.
I mean, yeah. There's like this ounce of humility. Like what's that?
Just
1,
one.
2,
Just
3,
that
4,
one little
5, 6,
line.
7, 8, 9, 10 words of humility that seem to be present.
Just 10.
It's 10 words.
It's almost ascending.
Again, it feels like that very like stereotypical husband who just who like the loving spouse who would kind of go, "Oh, you said that one thing right." So I guess I'll give you another
chance. Yeah, baby.
But and I think it's worth pointing out they said rolled natural one, and this time they've been rolling some natty ones a lot. In the last year. So
they're trying to kill it. Like they killed magic.
And I think it's really funny because they almost act like as if a lot of D&D players don't also play Magic the Gathering or have played or understand the horrible things they did to Magic the Gathering and to not care about loyal people. Not and this is the whole thing. Like Dungeons and Dragons, like they bought it, they switched companies. And so I like do they owe something to the TSR fans? I don't know. But Magic the Gathering has been a Wizards of the Coast product forever. And they just decided they broke their promise because they promised they would never reprint some cards. Right. They just shot them in the foot.
Yeah.
So and that was just December's release. So like acting like they as a company haven't just essentially been awful. And that's why I think they, in my opinion, which is probably not worth much, that
it's worth a lot.
Why they did this on D&D Beyond, because they're trying to distance it from their Magic of the Gathering Wizards of the Coast issue.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to distance it, going, oh, these are two separate things, when it's the same company treating people badly.
I've had two thoughts. Okay.
Okay.
One, I keep joking that 2023 is not the year for dice because we've had so many natural ones rolled. I'm thinking it might not be the year for them. And I lost my other thought because my brain doesn't work.
Yeah.
Oh no, I know what it was. I want to be a fly on the wall of the focus groups they used.
I don't think they did. I think
That would be their first error.
I don't believe them that they sent drafts.
Well, no, I agree 100%. But like, you are a multi-billion-dollar, trillion-dollar. I don't know how much they
Well,
make,
it's a
but it's a
D&D
lot.
brings in like 300 million or something like that.
How do you not have a focus group?
Right.
We are nerds and geeks. We have long memories.
Yeah. And it reminds me of like, because I remember when I used to do things for some church things, we would want to test an idea, and what we wouldn't do, even though like I might have suggested this strongly and got shut down a lot of times, was to like get people who kind of represent the whole church. Like, let's get people all over the thing and see how they would go. Like the person who is a single mom, or whatever, and then go all the way around and get everyone who you can. And it was always like, no, we just want to kind of get the people who, the small percentage of people who probably won't agree with us in the first place, because we really don't want actual and what gets me is that's a small, right, those are like, because to be honest, like, if you're, because I don't want to kind of poop on church at all, because people don't necessarily go to leadership, or they don't know how to, they may have the training to know that's not a great idea. But these are like executives and people who should really know better, you'd think, on how to understand people, right? Or maybe they have people who do, they just didn't listen to them. I don't know.
I think we're gonna see more backpedaling, more like, oh, we're giving you this. Like, I hate to say it this way, but it's like a gaslighting abuser. Like, they beat the crap out of you, and then they give you gifts to be like, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're gonna try to pull some kind of like, oh, look at this great thing we gave to our people, and
Yeah, it feels like they're going to try to not mention this again. Like, hey, I said I was sorry. Let's move on.
I said I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
But my actions show that I'm not.
Yeah, and I agree. There's definitely some leadership.
Oh yeah.
There's some people who should have said something that I think maybe didn't, or put their feet down.
Or if they did, nobody listened.
Maybe. Which is so interesting, because I know in part of like, because Wizards of the Coast has had a lot of employment issues, people kind of whistleblowing on them. And
good.
One of the things that came up was the fact that supposedly people say there's only like 2 or 3 guys that get to make all the decisions. Everybody else really has no say. So if you work there, like, it's just your whatever. And so your ideas aren't really there. And so as much as like they can say we hire diversity, they don't listen to the diversity. That's kind of what's been leveled against some of the people.
Racist for me to say that they're probably old white dudes?
So I feel like that's true, but I'm not entirely sure, because I haven't looked. I don't want to get too much, but yeah.
Just curious.
Yeah. So this is so it's so funny. This is like an unsigned document I'm reading. I think this is from, I think it's meant to be from Hasbro or whatever. I believe Hasbro is the one that did it. As in the face of record.
Woo! Yeah. Nail head. Nice job.
Yes. I think because I think we're going to do the audio on this. So how brilliant is the thought process that says, in the face of record inflation, you would want to monetize a product that is driven by disposable income? Right.
Exactly.
Like that's what we're going to do. But yeah, as far as Hasbro, I believe Hasbro is the driving force behind all this. The question was, what has Hasbro said about this? Because they, from what I gathered, is it was Hasbro that started the issue with Magic the Gathering, and it feels like Hasbro is behind this higher monetization. In fact, Hasbro had a stockholders meeting, I believe in December, that they were trying to address this, and they had made this like, oh, we need to monetize, or
the thing is, we're probably not going to get a direct answer from them, because most toy companies are notorious for blaming stuff like this on people who produce the items. Like anytime there's like a toy malfunction, or like, if anyone remembers the Tarzan that had his hand positioned somewhere inappropriately, like the toy company was like, oh, that was the people who made the toy, not us, we just distributed them, we'll recall them. They're like, I don't think we'll get a direct answer from Hasbro.
which is part of the reason why you have why you divide your companies, right, is to be able to do this type of shenanigans. It's like, so you can have these two different opinions a little bit.
Yeah, it's why like most name brand products of a product are actually made by the same person. Yeah, they have. Okay, so it says Hasbro has ruined many toy lines. Yes, they have.
Yeah, I'm Marvelous there.
It's like when you see their new toys for old classics, and you're like, no, that doesn't look right at all.
Wolf. Quick question for both of you. What's your favorite animal? Definitely wolf.
Piggy.
Piggy?
Piggies. I love piggies.
All right.
I think I like pigs more than I like children.
Not your children.
Well, not my children. But you know how most women are like, oh, a baby. I'm like, Piggy!
That is a true statement.
Shut up.
The duality of y'all. Yeah. Well, we all two people, so
we are.
So kinda. I think that would work.
You're the nice one, and I'm the one that'll stop you.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, that is true. Pigs, though, I mean, you go
I could make so many inappropriate responses to that comment.
I think that's true. Woofy pig, yes. Okay. All right. So we are coming out of time, but real quick, if you have any questions we want to answer before we do go off the air here, go ahead and put them up in the comments, and we'll try to get them.
I'll behave. I already said I was gonna behave.
But for anyone who's watching from my gaming group, I am GM Balo. I run professional gamings at Start Playing Games. That's startplaying.games/GM/GM Balo. I'll be running a game tonight.
Art department is back at 6 p.m.
Yeah, we'll be back broadcast live 6 p.m. for Art department, which will be review of the week. However, we don't really time to talk about a lot. Might be able to talk about one. Here. We wanted to highlight some other games we love.
Well, they wanted to know what your least favorite animal was.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I know. That's hard.
I love animals, though.
That's like asking him his favorite book.
I don't like rats.
Fair enough.
But then I think I like snakes less than that. So probably snakes.
Hey, you leave the snakies alone. Least favorite animal. Mosquito.
Okay.
They love me. I don't love them.
All right. Before we go, wanted to highlight. We're going to be highlighting some
fire
games you might come on.
Yeah, that's a horrible one.
Yeah. Might want to come on and do more, because they're games that we would love to run. And if anyone's interested, we could do so. This one, I'm starting way in the past.
No. How far past? Ooh, I love that game. Werewolf Apocalypse. Or no, is that Wild West?
This is Wild West.
That's Wild West. I can't see on my tiny little screen.
Yeah, no, this is the Apocalypse.
Yes.
They're almost the same game, so it's okay. But
they're not.
Yeah. Not really.
Werewolf.
Which, by the way, I just have to say, this is one of my favorite books, because you can see, but it actually has like the claws in the cover. Like, Isaac's amazing. So
Someone stole that book from our house, and it took me like almost 10 years to find another copy.
yeah, because she loves me.
I do love you.
But yeah, but Werewolf the Wild West, Werewolf Apocalypse are great,
Love
but
it.
Werewolf Wild West in specific, there's one Wild West and werewolves. This is like the most amazing thing, and it's very much fun. So you get to have this idea of the Wild West gunner, and
Did you?
but
It is by White Wolf. I don't know if you said that.
yeah, but Wild West as a company is defunct, so it's like kind of an
Okay,
old
fair
thing.
enough.
But so I've GM'd it, but or
I've
storytelling.
played it.
You've played it, so tell me what is your favorite thing about Werewolf the Wild West? Is that the first one you played with me, actually?
That is no. I played vampires.
You played a session of Vampire, but that's the first like campaign, right?
First campaign with you was Werewolf Wild West.
Okay.
I think my favorite thing about that game is that for a new player, you don't have to be like, oh, where am I hiding my weapons? Because it's Wild West. You're going to have a gun.
Right.
It's fine. I think what I like about that game is one, less dice, because you only use a D10.
A few D10s, but yeah.
A few D10s, but you don't use the whole 7 set.
Right.
You use a D10. So that's great for new players. But also, I like that while you're all the same creature, technically, there's like 3 different things. Like there's your base form can be different from someone else's.
Right.
Your
so
culture.
if you're a werewolf, you were born in one of 3 forms, right? You were either born as a human, which is a Hamid, a wolf, which is a lupus.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, wolf.
And then you could have been, and that was so that was basically if your mother was a wolf, you're
a wolf.
You were born as a wolf, which is lupus. If your mother was a human, you're born as a human. And then there was Krynos, which is if you were born between 2 werewolves.
Which also for players like me, I don't do romance in D&D, although I do tend to fall for NPCs played by my husband, go figure. So Kronos was like no, werewolves aren't supposed to mate with werewolves. Right. So if they do, they make a sterile werewolf, which is a Krynos. And so I liked playing that because it was like, I don't have to be hit on. I did like that. Yeah. I fully am in it.
Which is interesting too, because it does like throw down inner player stuff.
Yes.
Because you could get killed by your tribe for
you totally could
to have that. And that's because in the mythology, the werewolf breed is very rare. And so the only way you can propagate it is with humans or wolves. You can't propagate within the werewolf community. And so the idea is that you are expected to do so.
Right.
More or less, which obviously brings up a lot of potentially problematic things.
Right.
Now in a whole different age. But there's more rules. I know there's another edition coming out in a few months that fixes some of that. But
I like that.
That was the original.
And then
mythology.
You had all the different cultures.
Right.
I always liked the Irish
from Europe and stuff, especially in the Wild West. The Wild West still was all these different countries were represented by these tribes, and so the cultures were coming together to solve this problem.
Yeah, and I liked that. And then there were also the standard roles of healer, tank, and all those.
I feel because every werewolf was a tank, though.
What? Every werewolf was a tank. Yes.
Yeah, it's a bunch of tanks, and it's they have different gifts and abilities.
Yes.
That augment that.
I like that. I think that was the perfect starting point for me. Because I think I'd feel overwhelmed if you had just thrown me into D&D.
Right.
I like that. I love the Wild West. I mean, anytime you can use the line, I'll be your Huckabee. Come on. I love that game. Absolutely adore Werewolf Wild West. And part of it, I will admit, probably was your storytelling. But I love that game. I just feel it's a real easy way to get someone into role playing without overwhelming them. but still gives you so many options on like
Yeah,
what you want your character to be able to do.
because a lot of the werewolves fit kind of an archetype. So like I think like what I told you, right? I said like Klingons with fur,
Klingons with fur.
right?
Yep.
When you want to know how to roleplay werewolf, and it
Yep.
was
Yep.
like if you do
Plus, you
that,
get
you're pretty
sharp
good.
claws.
Yeah, they got claws and all that. But yeah, and it is very high RP,
Very.
like way RP rather than rules heavy.
Yeah.
Like it's so funny because even when like the different books come out a lot of the times, for the most part, is just like here's all your RP cues.
Yeah.
And what I did love about these editions of the books is that they all this one came out with it, and a lot of the ones that White Wolf used to make did, is that there was this very long story
Oh yeah.
at the
The opening
beginning
story.
that's basically all you had to read. You didn't have to read the book.
Yeah, to play.
Like I was a storyteller could have read the book and just understood how to run the game. But if you wanted to introduce to a player, it felt like here's the fiction, this like maybe 20-page fiction
Yeah.
thing. You
Like I
read
said,
it and you know how to play the game.
it's a
You know what a werewolf
great,
is.
easy game to step into.
Yeah, you can do this, and I can help you with the rules. You know all the lore you need to know. Like they just did a really good job of it, which I really
Mhm.
liked. It's could be like here, just read a short story and then
I
just play the
like
game.
too that it based off of like the mythology of werewolves.
Right? Yeah,
Like
took things from that.
silver is lethal. And like other like wounds you can heal faster, but silver takes longer. Like
Yeah, it
I
takes like
liked
normal wounds, like
that.
weeks and stuff to
I
get
like that
over.
also, like based on what moon you were born under, determine like some of your personality traits as a wolf.
Yeah, and I think like being a werewolf fan, it was really cool how they made werewolves like monsters, man. Like
Yeah.
they were hard to kill,
Oh yeah.
and you felt, at least I felt like when you were playing a werewolf, you felt like a beast of a character.
It is very
you could take
hard to
people out.
die in that game.
So like, because in the game you have like 7 health levels,
Mm-hmm.
and I think first of all, like I think if it's a human character or if it's a mortal person, they only have 5, I believe is how
Mm-hmm.
it was. And um you know, if you, let's say you'd get shot as a mortal character, that might take 4 health levels away, and then you know you take 1 to 2 weeks to heal each level.
Yeah.
Well, like werewolves, they get shot, it might take that many health levels away, but every turn of combat they
You heal.
healed a level.
Yeah.
Like weeks and months over here to like everything else in the game, and it's
Yeah.
like seconds to these werewolves, and they're just healing and getting this massive thing back. If unless they were what called aggravated wounds, which was from silver or supernatural claws and teeth of creatures, those types of things. So like werewolves are deadly to each other, but you often didn't fight other werewolves, and so it
No.
was just like when you wanted to like terrorize, like you felt powerful.
Yeah, just go Krynos.
Yeah. And there was like a Defenders of the Earth type of thing, which was kind of fun. Um, that type of thing. So anyway, we want to highlight that because, like, hey, like I think one thing that is fair that many are considering is possibly saying, hey, like, should we be do we want to start putting our time and effort to a different game other than Dungeons and Dragons? And so we want to take us some times and go like, hey, if you'd like, you're interested, especially if you're in my games, and something like Werewolf West sounds fun. But I have some other games next to me that we do not.
Yeah, next time
We'll get through them. I'm just saying
we're gonna start doing this sort of regularly.
Yeah, we'll do this a few times. It'll be fun.
And maybe next time we'll actually have tea and biscuits.
Yes. So does anyone know? So we got this like advent calendar thing that has like loose leaf tea in a bag or whatever. How do I get this tea again without getting the advent calendar?
That's
I don't know.
Question. I have some English breakfast loose leaf, but you don't like it.
But it's not that like big hunks of stuff that like
and you don't like English breakfast.
Anyway, if you know, let me know.
Yeah, if you know where we can buy tea bags of loose leaf tea, let us know.
Yeah, like the big things.
And you need to go pick up our kits.
We do. So thank you all for you watching. I don't see any other questions.
Well, they wanted to know what the danger noodle ever did to you.
It existed.
I love snakes, and he will not let me have one.
Because they are awful.
They're not awful. They're adorable. I could crochet in a little hat.
Then it would be an awful thing in crocheted hat. Like that doesn't make it better.
I love
Anyway,
snakes.
Tivana. Does Tivana exist?
Do they anymore? We'll look it
I've
up.
not seen one in like forever.
We haven't been to a mall in forever.
I guess that's true. All right. Well, we'll see y'all next time, and definitely at 6 when our department goes on, starts to do some
Bye.
reviews. Bye.
Bye.
I wasn't ready to hit the thing.
Hit the button.